What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the FansToys Soar X, or their version of a metallic swoop. So I'm continuing my collecting of these FansToys X versions. Thanks to Dr. Diecast, who got me the first one, which was the Grinder X, their version of Grimlock. And then G-Tony helped me locate the Sever, or their version of Snarl, and Scoria, or their version of Slag. And I found this guy on my own on eBay. I did pay the aftermarket price on him, although I got it at a decent price, but still more than its original retail price. And I am going to finish the collection. Now, the reason we're doing this review today is there are no reviews of this figure on YouTube. So I figured, why not? Let's take a look at it. Now, this is a limited edition version of Swoop, and all of these X versions are limited edition, but they did individually number the cards. You get number 519 on this one. All of them come with a card like this. So supposedly that means they're not going to reprint or recreate this line of the Dinobots. So last time I put out the video, a lot of people asked, is this going to be reissued or is there a reissue? And the answer is no. They're not going to be reissuing these. So if you want them, you got to find them. But let's take a look at the colors. This looks really nice. You got metallic red paint here, silver metallic for the arms and the legs, kind of a bluish metallic for the thighs and the knee pads, metallic red here on the side. On the back we got that same metallic blue, and then chrome, vacuum metal chrome on the wings. All that looks really good. A little bit more of that blue back here. Overall, really nice colors. We'll bring in the original so you can compare the difference between the colors. But they're definitely a stark difference between them. Let's go over his articulation. The head's on a ball joint, so it gets down to there, up to there. But there is a neck joint here, so you can lift that up and it gets way down if you use that. Not really much side to side, but you can rotate it around. It does have the newer head sculpt or face sculpt on it, which I do think looks better. Later I'll show you the other head sculpt that it came with. Shoulders go up to there, rotates around. They could have, there's a little piece of styrofoam. They could have stood to have a ratchet there. Rotation at the bicep, double jointed elbow gets a full bend. That's another one. They could have stood to have a ratchet joint there in the elbow. Rotation at the wrist. You have individually articulated fingers at 2 pins, and then the thumb is on a ball joint. Same as all of the other Dinobots, and a lot of the FansToys figures have that. You have a waist swivel. You have to lift up the nose a little bit, and then you can rotate here. Otherwise, it'll collide there, but you can rotate it around. Just watch out for the chrome. You can lift up these hip skirts while you get the legs up to there on a ratchet. Back to there, hindered. It is a little cutout there for the leg, but that's all it goes. So you don't really need this hip skirt. Kind of unnecessary. Out to the side on friction. This happens to be a nice tight copy. Rotation of the thigh at a cut joint. You have a double jointed knee. Double jointed knee, and it is double jointed because of the transformation, but it does get you the full bend all the way back to there. And I did get the replacement thigh tabs here. These are the plastic ones. They're a little bit different color than the originals, but they are the plastic ones. I have the metal ones, so if they do break, I can replace them. I will tell you, I've never had one of these break on the original or on this one, so I guess I have it just as a backup, but you can get those from FansToys, service at fanstoys.com. But continuing down, we have ankle tilt, pivot forward and backward. This is another thing where I got the part from FansToys service. These ankle parts are new, so I got those directly, and they're very recent. I just got them, maybe a couple weeks ago, and replaced them. And these new replacement ones are definitely better. He holds the position a lot better than the original. So I highly recommend, if you have a Swoop and his ankles are loose, contact service at fanstoys.com and they can help you get those new parts. Also, we've got articulation of the wings, so they go in and out and up and down, so you can kind of pose those how you wish. As far as accessories, we get his 2 guns here done in this nice metallic silver, gold chrome for the tip, and then metallic red for the top. Open up the handle. He can't hold these in the hand, although my personal preference is to put it in the wings, but you can tab this in, close the fingers around it, and it does hold it a little bit loose, at least as far as my taste is concerned, but it does hold it. But my personal preference is to put them here on the wing, so you could have 1 and 1 if you wanted to. We also get his sword done in this metallic red, and then a gradient. You got red on the outside. It kind of looks like a flame effect. It does have a light up effect. I don't have the batteries in there, so we're not going to look at that. But we can open up the hands. And I do recommend caution with these fingers. Sometimes they can get brittle over time, depending. This one is okay, but a lot of times, depending on where you get it, they do get brittle. We can put this in the hand, just like the gun. Make sure. Yeah, I think it goes towards the back. And then we can close the fingers around. And he's got that nice looking sword. And one other feature he does have is you can store the weapon. There's a little peg right here on the sword. On the back here there's a little slot. You can peg it in, and it's a tight fit. I don't even know if it's worth it, but you can put the sword back there if you want. We also get that alternate face I mentioned. Now this new one, I'm not sure if it came with it or not. You can kind of see the difference between the faces. Let's see if I can get in closer. But this one kind of has a more wider nose and a wider grimace on his face. So, you know, it never looked quite right. So they made a new face, and I believe that came with a grinder. And I'm not sure if the X versions, if they just included it or not. But, you know, mine came with it. So I'm not sure if somebody put it in the box or it was already in there. Or the last accessory you get here is the wings. You get these translucent plastic wings. And they look really nice. Got a nice paint detail right there. You can replace these if you want. I have no intention to replace these. If you are going to do it, you just unscrew that one screw, take that out, put this in, and then you can have these translucent wings. Me personally though, I think the ones that are on there look really, really nice, so I'm going to leave those on there. I'm going to show you, it does come with the stand as well. It's kind of a translucent blue, matches the blue, and this is the original, it's just translucent. This will fit into the bottom here, so if you look, you'll see there's a slot and a hole. So you can just plug him in right there, and now he can be flying on that stand if you want. This is actually how I display him, kind of in a pose on that stand, but nice option for him. And just to give you a comparison, there it is with the original FansToys Soar, and you could see right away the differences in the color. You got the gray plastic here for the arms and legs, whereas this has got the metallic silver. For the sword, you can see before it was just this translucent red, now it's got this gradient color. Also for these guns mounted on the wings, you got metallic silver and then metallic red instead of the red and gray plastic. I do think it looks better. On the back, like I mentioned, you got this chrome blue, and the chrome on the wings has a little blue tint. I don't know if it's coming across camera, but it's a little bit bluer than this one. I think it looks nice. Same for the thighs, you got that blue tint on the thighs and the knee pads, whereas this one is silver. So all of it's meant to, you know, look a little bit more metallic. And then on the side of the legs, you've got metallic red chrome instead of this red color. And same for the chest pieces here, metallic red chrome instead of the red. And I do think it's better. It looks better with those new colors. And for size comparison, there it is next to the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime. And he does come in shorter than the other Dinobots from FansToys. I think it makes sense. I mean, he should be a little bit smaller. I'm not sure if he should be this much smaller. It's about the same height as Optimus, but either way, I still think it works with the Masterpiece scale. All right, now let's get him transformed into Dyna mode. And if you haven't already, go ahead and remove all the weapons from him so that it just makes the job easier. We'll go ahead and take the arms, lift them up. We're going to open up this panel down here, fold the hands in, very traditional masterpiece transformation. Close that up. We're going to collapse the arms down so they sit like that. We can lift up on this nose for the chest. Lift up on this entire thing. It's on a ratchet right here. So bring that up. And as you bring that up, we're going to open up these two things. If you need help, you can get a spudger. But bring this up and match it up with the face. Very traditional swoop transformation. Just peg those in on both sides. And just leave that up for now. Over here, we're going to bring the chest in. We're going to collapse these down. They actually are on ratchets. And then these arms are just going to sit at the side. They don't actually peg into place. I kind of think they should, but they don't. Go ahead and fold the wings down. You can see here there's some slots there, and we're going to use that to peg in the legs. I'll show you one. You can do the other one yourself. Open this up. You're going to fold down on the heel spur. Bring the leg foot in and store it in there, and then close that up. You're going to unpeg these little retaining clips and unpeg this retaining clip here. If you need to, you can open up the hip skirt. These are the plastic pieces I was talking about earlier that you can swap out with the metal pieces if you request those from FansToys. You're going to fold back on this, and then we're going to fold on the lower joint here, so get that all the way down. There's two tabs right here. You're going to go in two pegs on his back. So make sure those line up. Get that pegged in. Should just sit just like that. And that's one leg done. So go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. All right, now we've got both legs done. We can take care of the last finishing touch, which is this tail here. And I probably should have taken it out before, but since I didn't, I'll use a little spudger. Get this tail piece flipped out. And I might even need to move this leg. There we go. Get the tail piece flipped back. It's a subtle little thing that people can miss. There's your tail piece. Then we're going to fold out the wings. So fold that out. Fold out. Make sure you straighten up this double hinge as you do it. All right, same on this one. All right, another finishing touch I forgot is the heel spurs. So to get those, you're going to unpeg that. Open this up, and we can fold this out. It's a little tricky to get to it. Maybe get a spudger or something to help you flip it. Just be careful with that plastic piece, but this is going to come back to make up his little heel spur, tiny little heel spur. Then you can close this back up, tab that back in, and be careful tabbing it back in. Like I mentioned, it's a plastic piece. And that's how you get the heel spur out. All right, and there is Soar X in dyno mode. And full transparency, you cannot stand like this. You really have to display him like this on the stand. Otherwise, it'll fall down. But it does look good. Got those beautiful wings, tail on the back. The feet look good. I just wish they would hold him up. Even with the heel spurs, it doesn't really hold. Let's bring in the stand because that's really the best way to display him. You can see the same slot there on the chest. So we'll plug those in. And they are a tight fit, so just be aware of that. There you go. There is Soar X on the stand. I think it looks really, really good. You can't open up his mouth here. It's on a ratchet. And that looks nice. We can also take his guns and attach those here on the wings for that classic look. And yeah, pretty good looking. Now we can swap out his nose cone here for this translucent piece. I don't know why you would. I think it looks a lot better with the chrome. Now the original came with a smoked piece, so there is a difference here on this accessory. But I do think it looks good. For articulation, the neck can bend down to there, up to there. The head itself can go all the way up and down. So between the two, you can get whatever you need. Mouth can open up to there, It goes all the way down, and then you get side to side out of that neck. The wings can bend at 3 joints, but they're double hinged, so you can get them all the way down, all the way up. That works well. On the back, you get the tail fin, the tail, which you can fold up and down. The feet move a little bit, not the most articulated thing. You can get them folded back like that. Once you do that, though, the heel spur folds in, so just beware of that. But you can't get the feet back for like a flight pose, so that does look nice. And just to compare them, there it is next to the original FansToys Soar. And I think the metallic definitely helps it stand out. But I plan to display the original in Dyno mode and the X version in robot mode. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime. Pretty big Dyno mode. You can see how it scales. I think it works for the Masterpiece scale. So final recommendations on the FansToys Soar X. I think this looks really cool. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I'm going to recommend it. I think the paint job definitely adds to the figure. It is one of the better looking versions of Swoop. Now, as far as performance, I do think the ankles are definitely a weak point. The design of them, they really needed a ratchet or something. Now, I did replace the ankles with the new parts, and that definitely helped. But I shouldn't have to do that, right? So I think the Gigapower version, they did a little better job down there. Also, the elbows, same kind of thing. They could have used some hardware, some ratchets there. But either way, I think this is a beautiful version of Swoop. Now, finding it is going to be tough. But if you do, you are able to require it, I think you'll be pretty happy with it. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.